I'm a blogger at, well, I have been blogging at Julia's Coco and Coco, but I'm doing a brand new blog this week. My new name is going to be Julie Measures, so go check that out. We're getting that all set up. Today we're going to do a fun wintry decoration. I live here in Dallas, Texas area, and we don't get a whole lot of snow, so I have to recreate that whenever I get the chance. So this is a great project for the holidays and on through all winter season. We're going to start with, you'll need 3 fish bowls or glass globe jars. We're going to do a couple different ones. So you can see these are all different sizes. I've got a pretty big one here, medium size, and then a small. And then I also have just 3 small globe jars. These I picked up just at a dollar store. So really cost-efficient craft. So we're going to do this a couple different ways. So you can see all the different snowman decorations we're going to come up with. For these small glass jars, let me move these out of the way. Put these back towards me. I have, this just says bag of snow. And it's just some crushed up fake snow that I've got here. Okay. And I'm going to cut it open. As you guys are joining in, as I said, I'm here in the Dallas, Texas area where I don't get a lot of snow. I'd love to know where you're from. So say hi, leave a comment, let me know where you are. Tell me if you're getting snow or not. I have a almost 7-year-old who is anxiously awaiting snow. And I keep trying to explain to him that it might not happen where we live. And crush his little heart a little bit. But alright, so I've got my 3 glass jars here and my bag of snow. And I'm just going to pour a little bit into each of my jars.
Hello, Renee from Houston. And we have New Hampshire and Florida and Minnesota.
Oh, I'm going to guess that Florida, or New Hampshire and Minnesota probably have snow. I'm guessing Florida is where I no snow probably.
Michigan, it's
Michigan,
it's snowing.
Snow.
I need this snow bag. Okay.
So this is just a bag of snow. I got this at the dollar store as well when I picked up these glass jars.
We have Manchester, UK. Cumberland, Kentucky. And in Tennessee, it's not snowing yet. Thanks for your comment.
So I also want to know, as we're making this, who you'd make a snowman with. I've made one with my kids already, so let me know who you'd like to craft this with. Okay, so these little ones, as you can see, I have a variety of wintry things going on here, and we want to pick little tchotchkes, little designs that are going to go into our glass bowls. So I just asked who you would make your snowman with. We've got a giveaway for a Home Talk tote bag. So let me know who you're going to make your snowman with so I can pick a winner while we're creating this today. Alright, so I've got just a little bit of snow in the bottom of these jars. Now you can... There's some points on this that are kind of optional. This guy actually fits really well wedged down in the bottom of the jar. He doesn't tip over, he stays pretty well. Depending on what you choose to go into your jar, you might want to glue it to the bottom. So I've got some hot glue, you could use that. Any kind of super strong glue to really adhere him in here. As I said, this guy, because it's got this little lip part right here, he actually fits in there really well, and I'm not worried about him tipping over. So I'm just going to wedge him down in there. Oh, people say make it with their grandkids. That would be great. Make it with your mom. My mother-in-law is here today helping me as we do this, so she's one of my crafting partners. So then we just add some snow on top, and he gets a nice little wintry bath in there. Now sometimes, so there's one of our jars. So you can kind of move him over to the side. Obviously, because this is a snowman, we need 3 jars. This guy I found, I thought he was cute, but he is a little bit tall. Of course, now that I wedged him in there, I'm going to pull him back out. So I'm just going to remove the springs. And these actually came out pretty easy the last time I did this. So, of course, not today. Another option is, because he doesn't want to pull out like the other set I did, I'm just going to squish him down in here so that he's nice and short. Depending on, these are a little bit smaller. Obviously, larger items are going to fit in larger jars. So the small jars, you might have to work around whatever it is you picked. Oh, see, now his spring broke. That's okay. He's down in there. I'm not going to pull his spring back out again. I've got his feet in there. And now he's short enough that he can fit. Because, so for these jars, because it has this lip, they're going to stack really nicely on top of each other, which is one of their advantages. So he's in there, and I can add more snow to him. These bags looked little, and so I bought a whole bunch of them, and then I realized they go a really long way. So, you might not need actually as many as you think you do. So there we've got our snowman, and he's wedged down in the snow as well. And see, now he looks, this guy, because we've got these kids in here, obviously you could add more snow, but I don't want to cover them up. I could also pull him out and add more snow and then just put him on top. That doesn't make him as stable, but because these fit so nicely into each other, I'm not as concerned about, I'm not going to secure the glass jars to each other. So if for some reason he fell over, I could just take my snowman apart and put him back in. So those stack really well. Okay, now we need to go over here to our third jar.
Yeah, sometimes these snowmen do become real to people.
So we've got, this is a little plushy, he's actually an ornament, but he's going to go in here. And that was the great thing too. A lot of stores have, you know, they have all those holiday scenes that like the trains and stuff can go around. So there are a ton of different little figurines that I could find at my store.
Yvette asked if she could glue it to the bottom of the glass and then add it. Yes.
Yes. And I have done that as well, especially in jars that I glue together.
And Rankin's asking, are we adding water?
I'm not. This bag of snow just is decorative snow, craft snow, and I don't have to add anything to it. I just cut open the bag and pour it in, and it's ready to use.
And Tiny Tots Daycare said that they would make them with their daycare kiddos.
That would be a fun craft to do with lots of kids. And I really liked when doing this with my kids to pull out, you know, a whole range of items and let the kids pick what they wanted to go in their jars. Okay, so there we've got our 3 small jars filled, and you could stack them any way that you want. So there's a look at our 3. We can do this, you know, however you want to do that. I kind of like the look of a more filled jar on the bottom to a less filled jar on top. When we're talking about jars like this that are all the same size, so that you get the illusion that this is bigger, this is a little bit smaller, and then this is the smallest one. So we're going to push that out of the way for just a minute. We're going to come over here to our larger jars. Now, You could use more of this fake snow, and I probably will do that too. But I'm also using just some polyester, this filling stuff. If you're sew, this is probably a very familiar craft item to you. I crochet, and sometimes I make little stuffed animals or things, and so I use it for that. But we still get that white, snowy, fluffy look that we're going for in our jar. The batting is a little less messy than our fake snow was.
Okay.
But I'm trying to not have a lot of pieces up on the top here, so I'm going to flip that over. I like that look better. Okay. Now we've got, obviously, a bigger jar, and so we can go with some bigger creatures for our fish bowls. So I've got some stuffed animals here, and we can kind of play around and see what fits into our jar. So we've got a Santa.
Anne Marie says she'd make these with her grandchildren, and it is a great activity to do.
I love it because while we do have a Santa in here, you certainly could make it, stick with just a snowman theme so that it really lasts beyond the holidays. And when you don't secure the jars together, you can trade these out throughout the winter if you want to make it last. So we've got
People are real concerned
Santa in
there.
there. And as I said, if you wanted to, we're not quite done with the snowman yet. We're going to come back to him. I just wanted to fill all of our jars first. So certainly you could hot glue this together. I have kids. I would definitely hot glue mine together because I know kids are going to touch it. And then you can hot glue your pieces down as well. Depending on your house and where your decoration is going to be, you might want to be able to change them out, but it would be very simple just to hot glue around that and insert it down and have that be really secure. Let's finish filling up. This is a cute little, just to show you this big one here. We can have lots of different fun things in our thing.
Yes, so miniatures can be used, all kinds. They don't have to be this big. They can be just little miniature.
Yeah, this little snowman, he's only, we'll put him right here in my hand. He's only a couple inches tall. These jars are pretty small. Compared, obviously, to this large jar with the stuffed animal that we're putting in here. So he's kind of sitting in the snow, getting all cozy in there. Okay. Then we can, and it doesn't have to be just one, we've kind of just put one thing in a jar so far, but we can also make a little scene. And you could totally hot glue these into your bowls as well, just to make them extra.
Someone's asking about wireless lights.
That would be really cute. Down in your snow, so it could glow at night. Okay, so we've got that done in here, and I've got a couple little bottle brush trees, so I can stick those down. I think I put too much in here.
And Debbie says it would be great for a baby shower to put baby little things down in there.
Oh, that would be cute. I've got a baby shower to plan in January, so I'll have to remember that. Alright, so we've got our snow. Push that down. Okay, and we can put in our little bottle brush trees. And then, to me, this is just a very kind of classic look with the car and our trees in the snow. Push our trees down.
Renee says that she loves working with the elderly, and her mother's in the early stages of Alzheimer's, and she would like to do this with her.
Yeah, I love it. It would be great. It's a real hands-on craft, and you really can't mess it up. I mean, you're creating a little scene however you want. We've got our trees and car in the snow. And then we've got our last little globe here to put in. And we can add in our cute little, see, that makes him a little too tall. Our cute little doggy. Yeah, so if you're just joining us, let us know who you'd make a snowman with to enter to win a Home Talk tote bag
Well,
or a giveaway.
Whitney said that she would use salt instead of the fluff.
Yes, you could totally do that. That would be great, especially in the little ones. It might be a lot of salt in the big ones. But you know, and you can combine, like I've got the fluff in here, but I can also easily add in, oh, there's my open one over there.
Thank you, Virginia, for sharing this with your friends.
So I can easily add in then like some snow on my trees, on top of my car, so then it kind of looks like it is snowing on them. And really just get our different scenes here. He's got kind of too much in here, doesn't he? Our little like polar bear guy. He might be a little too tall, but we're gonna make him work. Okay. So, same thing as before. Give him a little snowy blanket here. And these would get stacked up again. But, see, this tree is a little, they'll get pushed in. Okay. We don't want our trees to fall on the car. There we go. Okay. So, and just like before, you could take your hot glue gun and go around the edge of your bowl to really secure that together. He's kind of wobbling a little bit. So, but there's our snowman, and then you can kind of get the difference, you know, the two different looks where we've got, you want a more traditional snowman shape with the different sizes, and then the one that's all the same.
Jessica says her son would definitely build things with Legos and put inside.
That would be so cute. I just saw a book online for making Lego ornaments that I think is going to have to come to my house because I've got kids that love Legos. Alright, so obviously we've got the ball part of our snowman, but he needs a little bit more to really look like snowman, including a scarf. So this, let me move our big one out of the way for a second and come back to this guy. So this is just a piece of fleece, and I'm going to cut, this is the, you know, just about 3 inches or so. I'm going to cut off this end that kind of rolls. And then you're just going to tie it around our snowman because he needs a scarf. And to make it look like a scarf, I've got my scissors and I'm going to give some fringe to our scarf.
One of our guests suggested just filling the bowl completely with the fluff and making it really like just a snowman.
Yes. So my, I love that idea too. My grandmother was a miniature artist and created scenes. So for me, there's a little bit of nostalgia making these little scenes inside of my globes that remind me of her and all the different. Her forte was bears. She made female bears and sold them all over the country, went on tours, and made all sorts of holiday scenes, really all holidays. Okay, so we want to move the scarf so we can see inside. So there's that one. And then obviously our other snowman guy is going to pull him back over here. And these would do better glued. I've got my hot glue gun over here, but it's not quite warmed up yet. So we can still glue him, but I've got this is another piece of fleece. This one I kind of measured beforehand. This one was just in my pile of scrap. So I'm going to wrap this around gently, since he's not secured together. And then I can see how long it is. I didn't want my scarf, excuse me, to hang, you know, past, I didn't want it to be taller than he was, obviously. You know, you don't want your scarf to drag by your feet. So, I need to cut this one about right here. Let me trim him up. As my jars are falling as I wait for my hot glue gun to be ready. Okay, and just like my other one, I want this to look like a scarf. So I'm cutting this rolled edge. And because I'm making this into fringe, I'm not really worried about it being perfectly straight.
Thanks, Shirley, for sharing with your friends.
Thank you, yes. So this is, I don't know, 1/2 inch, a little bit wider than our other one and longer, obviously, because we're working on a larger scale for this snowman. But I'm just making more fringe for his scarf.
And yes, Dorothy, you could make it with just a bow. This is just one idea using a winter scarf.
Yes, and obviously any color. I happen to have a bunch of green fleece in my scrap fabric from another project where I was making actually people scarves out of these. But you could certainly use whatever fabric you had on hand. I'm a knitter and a crocheter, so you could, you know, knit or crochet him a scarf if you wanted that look. So there's our fringed end of our scarf, and I'm just going to really quick cut the other side as well. I was going to say we want our snowman to be warm, which is, you know, only a little bit funny because he's made out of snow. But we'll get him all ready. And then, of course, the other piece of clothing that he needs is a hat. Like I said, I'm a knitter and a crocheter. I couldn't find a hat that I particularly liked anywhere that I went, so I crocheted a hat. And I have the pattern for that up on my website that you can go grab. But it's just a little black hat that sits on the top. And let's see if my hot glue gun is ready. And I can push him down. So I would just go around, you know, the edge of this jar.
Yes, and the bowls, you can get them at Hobby Lobby, the dollar store, probably even some thrift stores.
Yes. So we want to turn this. And then that is a much more solid base for our jars. And you could do that, you know, along the top too, so that he's more stable. So let's get this on here. Oh, and I'm dripping down into my bowl. It's okay. Alright, and he goes on here. I turn him. Obviously we want all our scenes to be facing the right way. So there's our big guy, and now he is secured together, and we can add in his scarf. Same thing, I've got this off to the side a little bit. I know he's covering up the dog. We'll get our dog uncovered in a second. We want, you know, his scarf on, but out of the, not covering up our seams too much. So, and we'll move the hat over here so you can see that's how it would look on him. And we're gonna, now you could totally, you know, all of this is kind of add-ons. You know, we talked about you could just fill them with the white fluff. You don't have to add the seams. You can add the seams. You can add the little scarf. You can add a hat. Another option to really get him to look like a snowman, I'm going to come over here, is to add, you know, his button eyes and nose. So I've got just some craft paint. I'm going to lose the hat for a minute.
A lot of people do gingerbread houses with their grandchildren or children each year as a tradition, and it's been suggested that they make these snowmen each year and see how they change over the years.
Yeah. So this sponge I found has the little, it's a little round, which I thought would be great, you know, for adding in his eyes and things. So let's, I got my orange and black so that I can add in, oh, black, let's do the right thing here. So I'm just dipping it, dabbing it, and then I can add in an eye and another eye. Obviously I can go back over those if I want to make them darker. And then we can do his buttons down the front. On this, because this is the smaller, I'm using the smaller end. I'm gonna push up his scarf a little bit, but we'll give him 3 little
Yeah, Eve said it would be
buttons down
nice
the
to
front.
have pictures of your grandkids inside.
That would be really cute. Yeah, I mean, you can make it a very personalized, you know, put in things that remind you of your Christmas traditions, your holiday traditions, places that you like to travel for the holidays maybe. So there's that part. And then he needs a little carrot nose. So I've got a little wedge sponge here. I thought that was kind of a good carrot shape already. And I can just dab that on there. And he gets a little carrot nose. So I'm going to go over this a few times to kind of darken it up. This is not glass paint, this is just craft paint. But you could use glass paint, it might come out a little bit darker or differently. And then he can have his hat. And he's a cute little snowman. But you know, you could do it obviously then with these, with the added paint, or this guy that's just without the paint. We can switch our hat around to see how they look. I'm going to go ahead and add the paint to this guy too, just to see how it looks on here. So I'm going to move his scarf out of the way while I paint on him. Because he's a little bit bigger, I'm going to use a larger paint brush for him. So same thing, give him a couple eyes up here. And then he needs his buttons.
Okay.
He's a little bit bigger, so
Okay.
I might just put all 3 buttons on his middle section instead of with the smaller jars where I moved down and used one of the glass jars on the bottom. So those are all painted on there. And again with my nose, can add that on there. And give him his little carrot nose.
Virginia said this is a great idea for her garden.
That would be cute. I have not tested these outside just with my kids, but we had a lot of fun together making the one I'll show you in a second.
There's been lots of questions about the little hat. Hopefully we can show you.
Yeah, so as I said, I went to the store and got all my stuff. I did not find a black hat when I was looking, but I was looking. I made my original one several weeks ago, so you might be able to find one now. It's pretty short. It's just a circle on top. If you're a crocheter, this is a free pattern on my website. I started in the center. If you've crocheted before, I just made a circle. Then I used some back post only to give me this ridge on my hat. I know the black is hard to see in the video, I'm sorry. And then goes straight down. Because I had him sitting on this, I wanted a top hat look, but I didn't want it really tall, so it is kind of short. And then it switches again. I use a back post or a back loop only to give me to give it that bend and do some more increases so I can get the little curl around the bottom. But it's just, the whole hat is made using double crochet. I actually have on my YouTube channel, I've started a Learn to Crochet video series, and I'm more than happy to help anybody that wants to learn how to crochet this little hat. But it used not very much yarn. It didn't take very long. I've only made the one of him so far, but then it can just sit right there on top. And then I can add in his little scarf. Try not to mess up the paint. Oh, yeah, it's still a little wet, so that can go on later. I'll try not to. But I mean, he looks really cute. Oh, see, now. Shh, we won't say it. We won't. It's our little secret, right? Just wipe up the little paint that I just smudged with his scarf. But, you know, he could totally just hang out like that. I did want to show you, too, I did another version. Let's move him out of the way. And his scarf, and then our other, oh, see, now I'm touching because I'm standing from behind. I can't see it. I will fix him. This I found, these are plastic. And they do have decorations on them, so I didn't paint on them. And I glued them together. So I can take the scarf off this one too. But they are just, like I said, I have 3 kids. I have 3 boys. And I knew that maybe glass wasn't the best option to have out all season long. So I found these little plastic jars at the dollar store. And I did the same thing. It has this fake snow in it. These are kind of glued down in there. But that's a great kid-safe option if you don't want to have the glass. Any, nearly clear plastic jar will work for this. I did double check to make sure that they would stack on top of each other. That's kind of the big key. They don't have to fit, like these perfectly down inside of each other. But they do need to, even though I glued them together, it did help, that they wanted to rest on top of each other easily. I didn't have to fight with that. I'm trying to clean up the
Tiffany said she and her daughter would love to make Olaf.
That would be so cute. And you could, really just expand this. If you have sticks in your yard and wanted to come in and, glue little arms onto him or you know, the sky's the limit. You can make this as personalized and as intricate as you want it to be, or it can just be really simple and just, you know, be the stacked glass jars with the white snow in it. So I loved the idea somebody had about making the snowman with their mom with Alzheimer's. I will have to go back and double find your name. I'm sorry at the moment. So I can, but we'll get in touch with you so you can make sure that you get your Home Talk tote bag. So congratulations. Thanks everybody for talking about who you'd make this with. I love, I'll come back over here. As I say, you know, I don't get a lot of snow where I live, and so I love creating that wintry illusion, and I love crafts that are going to come with me through January. I get a little sad when it's time to put all my decorations away, and then my house looks normal and boring again, and so, you know, this guy, maybe not the one with Santa, but any of these that are just a snowman, I can keep that up through January, and I don't have to feel bad about not putting that decoration away because it's not just holiday themed, it's winter. And he's a fun little guy that you can take with you through the holidays. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will try to come back and answer all the questions. Like I said, my name is Julie and I blog over at my brand new website, Julie Measures. It's measures because I like to knit and cook, so I measure all the things. And you can, you know, leave me any questions. If you have any specific questions about the hat, definitely I'm happy to help you make one of those if you want. You might be able to find one at the store. If you do, let me know that too. But I couldn't find one that really fit. The great thing about this guy too is that you can see the openings for all of my snowmen are all different, but he can just kind of perch on top of all of them and he makes them work. Let me see if this guy's dry. If I can put his, mostly. If I can put his scarf back on him. And we'll give him a nice send-off. He needs to be properly attired.
And this would be great for your grandma night, craft night. That sounds like a fun idea to get grandmas together and do that.
All right, there we go. There's our snowman. Try not to cover him up too much. I didn't put mouths on these guys. The scarf, especially this one, kind of covers that. And just, you know, a little bit of space constraint. I don't know. But we could totally go back and add in a little dotted mouth here. Oh, my paintbrushes are running away. You know, if we want to give him a happy snowman smile. I'm not a painter, so. But he's all ready. And we've got all of our snowmen. So hopefully that gives you a lot of options and ideas to create your own globe snowman.
Thanks, Claudia, for sharing with all of your friends.
Yes, thank you for sharing. We hope this is a craft that you'll really enjoy making with whoever it is in your life, and that you'll enjoy the creative possibilities that you have with this project. So thanks for tuning in today and for crafting with me, and I can't wait to do it again. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.